We weren't live yet. Hey, this is Nasty Neal.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
This is dinner.
And a couple movies.
Yeah, we reviewed the earlier one first,
yes,
which was
did.
Mad Fate. So
yes.
you go back and watch that. I might upload these together on Spotify as well.
Ah, very nice, very nice. So we just watched just now last Voyage of the Demeter.
The last Voyage of the Demeter, which I was really looking forward to.
As was I, because it's such a cool part of the story that no movie really ever covers. You know, I remember in Bram Stoker's Dracula, it's a cool scene and there's like blood sprays, but it's very, very brief. But it implies, it suggests that this is like a rich story to be told. Right. And lo and behold, someone decided, hey, this is a rich story to be told.
I will say that the Netflix three episode series of Dracula, episode 2 is all about the boat.
Is it?
It's good. I think it's better than last Voyage of the Demeter.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's very
all right, because
yeah,
it wouldn't be hard to be better.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure what you thought because I
sucked.
Yeah, this was a huge disappointment. It's almost like a pointless movie to me because like you set up the first scene is that there's no survivors, and anyone who knows, they even tell you it's from Dracula, so you know Dracula's gonna live, and then so it's like, well, there's got to be some big twist, or this is gonna be totally badass to make the point of the movie. And I was like, well, what the hell is the point of this movie? I'm watching it, and by the end, I guess it's just to set up a possible franchise or something.
I mean, if you're familiar with the story, you know everybody's dead, and you know.
But even if you weren't, they started the scene with that, basically.
Yes. Yeah, I guess maybe they think people go on it. Well, I don't know, but yeah, it was really bad. It was just a straight up formulaic movie. Like you could probably plot out a timeline of here's where the plot points will fall. There's going to be, the kid's going to die, the old man you're going to like fall in love with, and he's going to die, and they're going to have some kind of romance between the man and the woman. This, like, all very, very predictable things. And I think maybe, I don't think I would have liked it no matter what, but following Mad Fates, and in my mind, contrasting how unique and original, and they don't spoon feed you the story. It's like you kind of have to.
Yeah, even the main guy, like it's set up, he's well educated and he's going to be on the boat with like, the working dude. So he's probably going to contrast with everybody, which is exactly what happens. And then they go through all the trouble too to make sure, he's a doctor, he's smart, and right away he figures out when there's just gonna be some spoilers. We won't spoil the whole movie, but like some stuff that's early on is they find the girl that Dracula's feeding on, and so he's like, let's give her a transfusion.
And it just so happens to have stuff for transfusion in his small bag, because everyone on a ship is going to possibly need to have a transfusion.
Yeah.
When would that happen?
Right, his little first aid kit.
No, I mean, I guess maybe, but I would think there'd be more like, maybe you need a bone saw if someone's gonna like lose a leg,
right?
And
especially in that era,
alcohol, and like that seems like a very atypical thing for a doctor on like walking around and doing a journey. I don't know. Maybe that's me. That's me.
But still, so they set that up, and at this moment in the movie, it cures her. So
she's just she's just a person.
So they establish that, and then not too long after that, it's actually went right after that. Really, this other guy gets bit, and for some reason they don't do any of that. They're like, well, we just found out that this cures her. Maybe we should try it on this guy. And then what made me even more mad was immediately after that, someone else gets bit, and they do the transfusion on him.
Do you know how tired I am of people banging their head on shit?
And why does Dracula need to smash people's faces in like with that? Don't just bite people. It honestly, pretty boring too.
Yes. Ugh. The animal deaths were lame.
Is this rated R? Because it's
no way.
guys, it's like I
There's
think
no
it's
way.
PG-13, which I'm not against a
Not at
PG-13
all.
movie, but this movie really needed to be R, I think, and maybe would have been a
I'm
little better, I
curious
think,
to
if it
see.
was R, because like the kills are very tame and repetitive.
I don't know. I don't think because the story itself was boring. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you could fix that with.
I honestly was getting bored watching it, and it's I'm not bored. I wasn't bored watching Oppenheimer. That's 3 hours.
This was a good movie.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's see.
On the captain's like, he's like a lot of good actors in it, but it's just not.
Oh yeah, I love that captain.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. He's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's like born for this kind of role.
Yeah. Oh, we got Joe.
Joe.
We got Pepe.
Wow, completely unexpected.
I did change my hair color. Thank you, Pepe.
Completely unexpected review.
Annabelle
change her hair.
It's rated R.
Wow, I'm very shocked actually.
That's
just thinking about that BBC production beauty. Yeah, if people have never seen the Dracula 3-episode series on Netflix, it's I love it. I love it. Yeah. Some people hated the third one. I actually love the third one. So the first one is is like this where like nuns stay? A
nunnery.
Yeah, we'll say the nunnery. And
nunnery.
And Dracula's trying to get in.
And, a convent?
A convent, yeah. And so Dracula's trying to get in, and they go by the old rules, that he can't come in until he's invited, and so that's that whole episode is right there. And the episodes are an hour and a half, so or maybe 2 hours, either an hour and a half, 2 hours, or like a whole movie. And then the second episode is all the shit.
Oh,
the whole episode, which is really an hour and a half movie.
That's pretty sweet.
And it's much better than this. And then the third one, a lot of people, I think they lost a lot of people. I personally loved it. Is set in modern day. They skip centuries.
But everybody's seen that story.
Yeah,
like a million times.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved all three.
Yeah, that's really cool because the story on the boat wasn't really told. The first story, I guess, they have to establish.
Right. Yeah, but they do it different. It's not like it does have the Renfield character and stuff, but it's set up differently. There's no Renfield in this either.
Well, he wouldn't be there.
Isn't he on the boat? He's not
on the boat.
He is in Dracula,
England.
But yeah.
Yeah, he's in England. He's a scientist. Oh, he was the person who. It depends on.
Oh, right.
If you go to the like Nosferatu, he was the guy that did the selling.
Right.
But that could be John Harker, and so, anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In my mind, I know what's.
Dracula, like, sometimes looks cool, sometimes not so much. I think, when they're really going for the Nosferatu look honestly more like Salem's Lot look, it looks really cool then. And as the back creature looks cool, but honestly, I think it needed more Dracula.
More Dracula, like human form Dracula?
Well, just at all. But I also think because they established he does. I don't want to get too much, but it's almost like he is just a straight up beast in this.
That's what I was actually hoping would happen because, I mean, I like the idea of fucking motorcycles. All doing their wheelies. Liam Cunningham, the actor, you mean the Game of Thrones guy?
Yeah.
He's so good. Sorry hopefully if you're as fine. But rowdy youth and their wheelie bikes.
What's this be going in a circle? Or?
Yeah, probably. Whatever.
It's totally badass.
So, the beast. I thought that would be cool when there was a trailer and you see like the beastie form for a moment. Like that would be cool because there's so many where he's like this.
Right.
Oh, I'm a sexy vampire, and I'm gonna like. And I've seen plenty of sexy vampires.
I love Nosferatu, which is more than just the straight up monster movie.
Yes. So. I actually think there's too much of everything. I think it could have been subdued. There didn't need to be so many stupid, predictable, it's like, oh, this is meaningful. Listen to these lines. They're so meaningful and deep. And Like
if
all
you're
these
gonna do
like
a beast
shots,
Dracula,
like,
I want to see Dracula ripping people apart.
yeah,
just
but
a
you really
beast.
don't. And it was
No.
rated R, and he was like just chewing out
Yeah,
like
it's
big chunks
it's
out of
real.
animals in the
Yeah,
beginning.
I think
and
the animal ones are more graphic than the human ones.
they're
And then when the humans come, it's really just him jumping at them and biting them on the neck, and then they
it's
disappear.
very bland.
Or smashing their heads against stuff. Which
Well,
that's kind of lame.
the one guy who turns all vampire-y, he's going after the kid.
I knew
he like started smash because the kid's got him locked out, and then he's trying to smash his way in with his head. I'm like, I'm done with people smashing. Their heads
he's
to be
basically like a
scary.
dumb zombie guy. But
yeah.
And then I didn't even understand it. So he's smashing through the door. He breaks the door apart, starts to reach in to unlock it, and then he just stops for no reason and just stands there. I didn't understand why.
He had cheesy lines to say, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The prediction: Captain will be one of the last. His grandson will probably kill him.
Right. Yeah. This is what I was referencing because that's also the movie Renfield, which is a direct sequel to the 33 Dracula, where Renfield's the survivor on the Demeter.
Some cheesy lines.
Because then they show him doing his hysterical laugh when he's in the bottom of the ship.
Some cheesy lines that will come up later about understanding life. Immediately knowing the main characters who will die, who will live.
Well, that one they set up. It's the main guy says something. It's like, "What do you want out of life?" And he's like, "I just want the world to make sense."
Oh.
And it comes back later. I told the captain I wanted this to make sense because blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
like
blah.
his backstory. I actually think it's capitalizing on like Black Lives Matter stuff. To be honest, I feel like there's capitalizing on that because they give that part of the story, which is a totally fine part of the story. But I feel like it's someone just gave me capitalists the Pride Month, Gay Pride Month, LGBTQ Pride Month, and that there are all these companies that like rainbow everything under the sun. It's not because they actually give a shit. It's to have a selling point, and that is what this felt like. It didn't feel real. I didn't feel that at all. It just seemed like everything was forced. Everything was to make a sale. It was just lame as hell. What else do I have here? Head smashing is old news. Oh, why hunt Dracula at night?
That was the thing.
What the fuck, man?
Well, that's I'm glad you brought that up because so they go and hunt where he sleeps at night for some reason, and why they have to have like 40 giant crates of dirt. Well,
because they
hide him.
No, because they bring the dirt is crucial for him to have for his vampire companions.
So either way, they find so they find where he sleeps, and they're like, so it's the big revelation. We found where the devil sleeps, the evil sleeps, but they're doing it at night, so he's not there. And then they never go back to it.
But even if they try to go there,
well, why don't they go back during the day?
Exactly.
Once they found it at night, when they'd be like, well, now we'll go back during the day and kill him.
You'd think they'd be like, oh man,
or go back during the day.
Let's go hide in a room together, barricade ourselves in, and then in the day, let's go out and find Dracula.
And what was the point even? What was even the point? What were they going to do? They knew he wouldn't be in there at night. They find it, and then there's no follow up. So either they hit, even if they don't kill him, go back and try, or even go back and throw all those out into the ocean.
Oh, something. I don't care about spoiling this movie. It's so stupid. Everything is so fucking predictable. It doesn't matter. So if you don't want spoilers, just change the channel. In my opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So the little boy, big shock, dies before his loving grandfather. You just have to assume there's some terrible story, some tragedy that made this captain take his grandson aboard the scary ship.
When you left momentarily, they set the story up where the captain's going to retire. This is his last voyage. He's leaving the ship to his mate, and the reason is he promised his daughter or wife, whatever, that he was going to take Toby. And was not going to raise him on a ship, and he was going to go live on a little island off in Ireland. With Toby.
So he was okay. So that is weird. He promised his dying daughter.
Yeah, I don't think even.
Why would he take her child? So with this tragedy.
Yeah.
Ugh, So Toby becomes a vampire, of course, and
that was like there was no shock to that at all because like so he's dead and they already established that the other guy who got bit became the vampire, so it's not even like the first vampire, and they're gonna go throw him out to sea, and then like the captain's like, wait, I saw him move, and it's like, well, I wonder where this is going.
You already knew how. I can't see how people would not know it anyways. It's like, of course he's going to become a vampire. And I thought, the chances were he was going to turn his grandfather into some tragedy where the boy attacks grandfather, and because it's so sad.
And they actually hinted at something that might have been interesting, where Dracula is like, he's trying to tempt him, like, I'll bring Toby back if you help me. That's
the
actually
captain.
The captain. That's actually interesting, but it's like one line. They could have done he could have been, instead of throwing out the sea, they could have had the little vampire kid, trying to tempt the grandfather, like, I'm keeping him alive.
Yeah,
I'm keeping him. Yeah, I've got to, I know he's not, and everyone's like, he's not Toby, but I know it's been done before, but at least it would have been something.
Yeah, it would have been, exactly. It would have been something. It would have been something. It was nothing. It was cheap. During the daytime, and Toby's in his little shroud, and the captain's like, oh, and then he rips it open because he's so sure, and then he's a vampire, and he starts to burn, and then he burns Grandpa, and then he gets thrown into the ocean. Now, he's not totally burnt up.
Yeah, he's
the boy. He's like kind of burnt. His eyes are still there. And I'm like, well, why doesn't this become like freaking Zombie 2?
Yeah,
and there's just like this little vampire. He could be feeding on fish.
Yeah, and then it's a way to make the movie creepier and stuff.
That'd be a little kind of ridiculous.
I don't know. I'd like it.
At that point, I was like, well, that would be entertaining.
Yeah. Well, then it could be kind of Evil Ed, where he's got the big burn on his head.
Yes.
Oh, that was another thing actually I don't like about the movie, is that the crosses have no value whatsoever.
Yeah. Even people with faith.
Yeah, I don't like that, because if you have evil, I'm not even a religious guy, but if you establish there's evil,
satanic evil,
right? There has to be a good too. Otherwise, like,
there has to be something.
Because there's constant mentions of him being the devil, and everyone's going to hell, and he's from hell, and they show the crosses over and over. So I thought a couple times, oh, the cross is going to actually keep him away here.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Toby, because Toby has the cross, does nothing. And then there's the big scene with the captain, and he's like, I revoke evil or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just completely worthless.
It wasn't reject. Well, whatever. It was basically, I reject you, and it didn't matter. But it pissed me off. So Toby burnt Grandpa, and then Grandpa, I know he's like a tough old sailor, but he's like, his hands are all burnt, his whole fucking face is burnt. He's got like the captain's log, and he's going through this paper. I'm like, I would not be touching anything if my hands were burned.
To like,
I would not be like, I'm going to be like, ah!
It's like his like raw flesh is showing.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
He's in. It's just weird. It's like he's in no show pain, and I know he's in mourning or whatever, but like his head's all burned.
To be in pain, which I can't blame on him, because I think he's a fantastic actor. Yeah. So, So I just feel like that was total missed opportunity to have him do a better job. Now I see a whole bunch of people over here. Let's see what we got here. Dang, look at all of you chat. All right, we got a hello.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Liam, Dracula.
Always
Dracula is awesome. The 1933 Dracula is the only survivor of the Demeter.
Yeah, Renfield. That's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
He's down in the basement, which is the Renfield movie. When it has a direct sequel, they recreate that scene.
Brian, I appreciate you saying I have spoilers.
Yeah, Brian, flattery.
Well,
flattery will get you everywhere.
Every Demeter.
Screw Grandpa.
Yeah. So true. Yeah.
Burn hand paper. Yeah, imagine that. That'd be horrendous. Yeah, I mean, it would just be easy. Like, I don't know. There wasn't much that I dug in this.
There was nothing I dug in this. Like it was just anything that was kind of okay. I knew it wasn't going to get better. Like I knew it was just going to be disappointment instant. Now I know that like there was had to be some CGI on this vampire.
Yeah, because they say it's all practical effects,
There's
but
no
I
way in
don't
the
think
world.
so.
Like just
Even just his movements
face
and stuff
shit.
didn't look like.
Yeah, I mean
and the fire
like
was
Gollum
clearly. I think the burnt
there.
stuff was CG. Honestly,
Yeah?
on the captain.
Oh.
But I mean, obvious the fire was obviously CG.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. It blew.
Yeah,
I was so disappointed.
I was too. Like.
So I don't know. Someone somewhere.
I don't even know what the point. What I mean, because you established right away the opening scene that everyone died, and I know someone lived, but I don't know. It's just like you're watching this movie, everyone's gonna die. So what's
Yeah, but I mean that's fine. I think the point would be just to tell the tale of how everyone dies, because that could be really interesting.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's the first thing. So if you do that, you have to really make something like, because there's no like guessing, like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna kill Dracula. Wonder if who's gonna live here. So you have to do something like really either some
Clever.
big giant twist, clever, or just make it really just a badass, like a bunch of slashing, Slaughterfest of the, because he's a beast in this, and it's set up a spoiler. It's really set up, I think, to make a franchise out of this. And from this, it seems like he's going to be more. He's still like weird looking, but probably more human because he's got the cane and he's dressed and stuff. So make this one your totally beast slasher.
Yes. So I'm wondering, is this doctor, this dude,
is
like
he supposed
to be like exactly like a Van Helsing? He's spoiler, he survives.
Yeah.
And he's like in a bar in London, and woo, who's that? Someone touched my neck. Huh. And because Dracula left him with a scar. Ooh, slice. Ooh, slice.
And it was weird to me because before that scene, I was like, why did they even find the cane like in that? Because why would this? Why would this? But why would this big bat beast? Well, I mean, they found
it preparing for the future.
I know, but they didn't establish he was that for a while. So I was just like, man, if he's just a beast, then he's got a cane. But then it set up the end. Which...
Well, yeah, if you know the story,
I do know the story. He
can't just be wandering the streets naked.
Well, he couldn't be wandering the streets looking the way he was either.
No, but he could be like, once he drinks all the blood off of all the people, then he can change his forms. Like he became mist at the end. I was wondering, like,
but he's sitting there. He's like,
is he going to be bats? Is he going to be wolves? What is he going to be?
I know he had a hat and clothes on, but if anyone saw that guy sitting there, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, sir, you want your
yes, he's got like glowy eyes. Maybe he was obfuscated and only that one guy could see him, but like in I don't know how much you remember Bram Stoker's Dracula, but he's like walking in the streets,
right? And
then Nina's out there, and he's just like, see me, and she's like, oh, and no one else notices him. So it was dumb. If you wanted to see a popcorn flick, I would say this counts as popcorn flick.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want, if you didn't have your hopes up, like this is going to be an amazing Dracula
I definitely had my hopes up.
The trailer was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't serious. I thought it would be like a really dramatic, like gory and dramatic. I just expected more. So maybe just don't expect anything, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was this is one of the biggest letdowns for me in a while.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the worst movie I've ever seen or anything. It's not what I expected. And it's just not for such a rich story, source material, and for something that has many like versions, you have to do something really cool with it.
I guess some people would think it is because it's like kind of comic booky-ish in a way because it's so.
Commercials made it look real. I agree. Commercials made it look really good, and I thought the commercials really hit a lot of stuff. But honestly, the commercial basically shows what you see of the beastie Dracula.
Yeah, I think. But that was this whole thing, Brian. Like I remember first seeing the trailer we were seeing some movie at the theater, and it was like, holy shit, this is gonna be amazing. And once you set people up for that, you kind of have to deliver. And that's the thing. They set themselves up for that. Like if they showed more of the characters, I think my expectation would have been very different.
Right. We
you know,
thought it
you've
was
gotten
more
a sense of it. Yeah, you would have. I think you would have had more of a sense of this is a lighter film and not so much of horror. It was pop horror, I would say. So, Pepe, once burned the skin of your left hand with a gasoline fire. How the hell did you do that? Gasoline fire? How did it even happen?
The hair is also very good. I don't think he means Dracula.
I do it myself. Yeah. As I always say, because it's always true. Yeah.
I busted out my Dracula shirt.
I got my Demeter shirt. Because she is. We watched that Asian horror. Hong Kong Asian horror. Even it's Japanese. I don't have any Hong Kong versions. And she's very vampire-like.
Yeah.
I said that earlier, but for anybody who didn't see it earlier, I think Demeter is very, very vampire-like. She seduces, and she's a monster who has multiple forms, and she's a killer. She manipulates people to kill them. She draws off of control. She's really horrible. She's so evil. It's hard to like her, to be honest, because she's so evil. But she's a great character. The stories are excellent.
It's weird that I think the most interesting part of me was just the idea of like the ship, even without Dracula. I was like, well, it's kind of interesting. They have all these livestock. It's like how big the ship has to be to really like support like a crew and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. They should have a bunch of livestock, which they're going to use for food as they're out there.
Why would they? Here's a real spoiler. Get ready for this. Just cover your ears if you don't want to hear about the dog. The dog. Why did they kill the dog and the animals at the same time? I would think they would have.
Yeah, you kill the dog.
Pieced it.
Yeah.
Why not have maybe all the animals die that you don't give a shit
about? That's a good point
because
they kind of messed that up themselves at the end when they say that he was rationing the crew. That's why didn't they kill all the crew at once? He was doing one a night to live off of. I'm not really sure how he was going to live just off her for the whole trip. Because she kind of says
the plan was that he would live on the whole trip and just pick them off.
What? So she said the only reason he came out was because they saved her. Like he was just, I think they were saying he was just going to live off her the whole time, which didn't make a lot of sense to me.
But no sense.
But either way, the point they said he's rationing out the crew at the end. That's why he's killed one at a time. Like you said, then why would kill off all the animals? And really, it probably should have been the dog first, because
the dog.
Not only that, it would make sense because that's also your first. You're right.
Yeah.
And that's before he's too powerful, so he takes that out, so they don't find him when he's at his weakest. And then he could start surviving on the animals, and maybe not just they just all die at once. Like they start to die, and it's like, what's going on here? And then when he's done with them, then it's the people.
Because they do question, like, is this a disease that killed the animals? Yeah, it's a disease that rips their fucking throat out. That disease. Stop it. Like that should be right there. Like a prime example of how dumb this movie is. Was it a disease?
Well, that's such a bad part of because when they find the stowaway, the girl, he's like, I'm gonna give her the transfusion and save her, and then the guy gets bit, and they're like, he's got some weird disease, and they just established that they did the transfusion on her, and at the time it cured her, and then immediately after that the kid gets bit. But then they do the transfusion on him.
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, why did you not care about this other dude? And why? It's like that makes no sense that they wouldn't do it on him or wouldn't think of it.
No sense, because it's not like there's
the
plenty of
first
people
and the
that
third
donate blood.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So many unknowns and never knowns. It really is a mystery. Maybe
it's not a well-made movie. No.
What do we got over here? We got some stuff. We got some
Zombies rule.
Zombies can be pretty great. Pepe, I poured gas on hot coals. Ooh, the fumes ignited and made a fire trail.
Damn.
Holy shit! When I threw the can out, my hand, gasoline got on my hand. About a minute to smother my hand over my shirt. Holy shit, dude, that fucking sucks. I hope your hand is okay, because that sounds, oh shit. Oh, wrong one. That's awful. I had my hand burned once by refried beans.
Oh, really?
And it was not, I'm sure, not like a gasoline thing. The stupid restaurant. All right, here I am working, line cook. The microwave was above my head. That is not where microwaves go. Microwave, because you know what happens? You put it up, you take it out. Guess what? You can spill shit real easy picking it up over your head. So I pulled it out and it hit the lip, and I got it all over my hand, and I got this huge bubble. So gross. It was like, it was so gross. Anyways, like a blue steak.
That's like, you know, even rarer than rare.
Oh yeah. Dumb fucking movie. When you uncovered your hand. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another burn I had. That was a restaurant, different restaurant. So I was cleaning down the grill. So you have grill cleaner, which is highly caustic and horrible. You scrub, and I burnt my arm. You saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like something tried to eat me.
Yeah,
it was like
really
this huge. Yeah, because I babied that shit. Now you can't even tell that.
I think at some of the it might not have been when we first met, but on some of the early things, I had this burn on my hand. It's like a little triangle.
What's that from?
And it was from the grill, and that's also when I burnt the
hair
hair
off.
off.
Lost your hair, and it didn't come back,
and it never grew back on that arm. And then my hair never grew back on my legs after the surgery.
That's fine.
Yeah, so I have hair like a hair above my knee, but not below it.
Huh?
But it's not big deal.
Smooth Neal Jones.
Yeah, it's better than all the whacked out veins. So.
Yes. Yeah, you don't want whacked out veins if you can help it.
Right.
What else we got here? Written by Amber Heard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
Amber Heard. That name is really familiar.
Yeah, I actually thought it was someone that listens to the show. That's Amber, somebody else. I'm not sure who Amber Heard is.
Amber Heard. I know that name. Shit the bed. Amber Heard. I gotta look this person up. I have to. Or you can also share. But let me show you here. Overly dramatic. Yeah, waiting for the doctor and woman to have a sexy moment. They had a love moment. Ocean. Everything set up with characters. Oh, snot, spit, and tears make a believable movie. Do you know that's what sells emotion? People, this guy had a like big boogie hanging out when it was a really emotional moment. The tough guy, he cried. Spit when the girl was talking. Like, do you like water people up for spit in the mouth? That movie sucked. It makes me mad.
Yeah, it was not good. So how many severed heads? I'm gonna go 2. I did not like it, but I've seen worse movies, and I feel like I probably would have not disliked it as much if I wasn't looking as forward to it.
Oh, this is a Johnny Depp girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the hell with her.
Yeah.
I'm not huge in Johnny Depp, but she is fucking crazy bitch, honestly. I don't like using that word, but she is. So yes. So same because it's not a one. Because it's it is made well.
Yeah. He does look cool at times.
And the actors do what they're supposed to do. I don't.
Oh yeah, there's actually some really quality actors in it.
Absolutely, and I think the acting itself is good. I think people do what they were paid to do.
Yeah,
right?
The captain's
I think everybody does what
really
they're
good.
Supposed to do.
His mate, I've seen in other stuff. He's in like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I saw him, he plays Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad.
Oh.
Which he's great in it. That it's like night and day Suicide Squad and the Suicide. I'm not sure which is which, but the James Gunn one's awesome and the other one's horrible.
The second one is the awesome one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't see that because the first one I was like, this is not.
No, I stopped watching it. And I kept
Yeah.
telling my brother to watch the other one. He's like, oh, I hated the other one. And he finally watched it, and he was like, oh, yeah, it was really good.
So that movie sucked. Before the Demeter, well, what do we got here?
I'm just taking this off.
Yeah,
Damn,
it was just really unfortunate. But please, these are our opinions.
Right, you can still go check it out.
Check it out.
I've seen a lot of people liking it. My brother loved it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Different people like different things. Like I like pineapple on pizza, and a lot of people don't, and that's
yeah, that's actually.
They're all dummies.
My brother doesn't like that either.
Pineapple and pepperoni. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not big on the ham. I think it's just kind of bland, but
yeah.
Pepperoni or bacon.
Bacon's a little too salty.
I think it was.
I like the spice of the pepperoni. But bacon's good. Better than ham, sure. Way better.
Yeah, we did not like it, Craig. Pineapple rules on pizza. Facebook user agreed.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was well made. I like vampire movies. This was just. It wasn't what I expected. I think that's the biggest thing. It was not what I expected. So.
Yeah, it's just not written.
Yes,
well.
pineapple does rule on pizza. 100%. More of a failed storyline.
I think it's just like really not necessarily the storyline, because storyline's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of cliched stuff and really big logic loopholes that I think would have been easily fixed. And
the actual storyline, whatever. I mean, I guess they try to, like Neal was saying, set it up for a sequel with this guy surviving.
They've been trying to launch a Dracula movie for a while.
It's failing a lot.
Yeah.
So we saw some trailers though.
Yeah, I loved the first time we saw the Exorcist trailer. This one I think was a different one in the beginning. I was not into, and then the end was a little more into it. But it gave me like, or maybe it's the second time seeing it, and I didn't pay attention too much at the beginning. And I don't know. I'm gonna go see it for sure, but I don't know if it'll be good or not.
Yeah,
I don't like the guy's Halloween trilogies.
No, I remember the first time we saw it.
I think I didn't really pay attention to. Oh yeah.
Here goes.
I don't think I really paid attention to the trailer until the end. I think it's when the Exorcist music hit, and then like when they're showing like the quick cuts and stuff, it looks kind of cool, but. I don't know.
Yeah,
the setup
I'm not
feeling
as great about it. It's kind of.
And they've already announced it's a trilogy. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I will try to take Demeter
not Demeter, Exorcist.
No. But I'm going to try to take Demeter as like to remind me to not get my hopes up.
Right.
Like Exorcist, these whatever they are.
That's what we said. We said the same thing once they found. What was even the point of going and finding it if they weren't going to go back to try to kill it? Even if they fail,
like that's fucking dumb as hell. Why try to kill Dracula at night? Because clearly all of the deaths are happening at night. I know they don't know it's Dracula, but they know the deaths happen at night.
But then they also established this is where it sleeps. So why don't they come back when it's asleep? Even if they, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
What was even the point of finding it? What were they going to do? Just nothing? Like, oh, there's where it's sleeping.
Until night. We'll wait for night.
And then it says destroying the boat. Throw them all out.
Because the Dracula box had like a special system.
Right.
You got to like...
It's like a puzzle box.
But when they did that, it didn't matter. They found his fucking cane. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess all of it really the point was to set up the cane so you knew when you saw it later on the end.
So I guess
they could have failed going back and killing him. I'm fine with that, but at least like establish that there was some plan involved.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think about. All right, now I'm trying to think. So how could they have done it and had it make truly? Because you have to have this movie. There are these boxes on board, right? You've got a crew. It doesn't matter who the crew is. It doesn't matter if it's this crew, any crew, any.
I have an idea right away. Instead of going down, well, they could go down and try to kill him. That doesn't work. Then during the day, they throw him overboard.
But we can't do that.
Yes, they can, because then you think he's all gone, and then you find out him and Toby are underneath the ship.
Do they get rid of the dirt?
You can just get over it. You just say, well, they don't throw them all away. They just throw away the one that his main one.
Why wouldn't they throw all of them away?
It's too much work.
This guy. Maybe they'd be scared.
Either way, you got to do something. They have to do something. They can't just look at it and just like, oh, I guess we'll never go back there again.
So if I had my drawing board, pretend this movie as it is does no exist.
Either they don't go, they don't find it, which is kind of stupid too. They would never even look at these things. But you find it, and then they go down and try to kill him.
Pause entirely.
Yeah.
Just take a step back from the story we just watched. So you saw another story about this. So maybe you have an idea.
Yeah, but they don't.
But forget the story we just watched. If you were a writer, if you were a creator, how would you go from, all right, we've got this Dracula's in a bunch of boxes of dirt on a boat. We need him to slowly kill off the crew until that boat arrives in London. How do you do that without the crew figuring it out and killing Dracula? Because you can't have it. Obviously, you can't have it so they kill Dracula, and you have to have the crew slaughtered. So how can you do that in a way that makes sense? You feeling me?
Yeah. Okay, they do what they do, where they go down and they find the why they do it at night, I don't know. But whatever. Have that at the end of the movie. Have that be the big standoff at the end of the movie. They go down to kill him. In the thing, the sunlight doesn't break through, so he still can fight him underneath the boat.
If I was to do the movie, I would have it be way more serious, where he's really a predator taking people out, and they don't know how to find him at all. Like, somehow Dracula's got to be able to hide effectively so that the crew doesn't know what the fuck is happening. Maybe he could...
Because everyone sees him.
Yeah, so... Little buddy.
There he is, right there. It's Dracula's the rat. I'm going to have to go pretty soon, too.
So what do we got here? I mean, we're basically just going to reach out with this movie. Hawaiian pizza, pineapples, it does. Exactly in pizza.
Yeah, either that's been the end of the movie, they find him there, then they have the big showdown, or they go back. I don't know. There's ways to figure it out.
For this BS here. I'm not even going to put it on the screen. I'm not even going to recognize this comment about pineapple on pizza, because it does belong there. I'm half Italian. And what? I'm half Italian, and I say it works. Thank you. I appreciate that. What do you think about, I don't know if you've got time, there's the Poor Things trailer?
I'm all about that.
Yeah? Willem Dafoe?
Oh, no. I was thinking that's the Scorsese movie.
No, that looks so good. It's like something Things, about the flower. That looks amazing.
If I just saw
Native Americans,
if I just saw the stills of Poor Things, I'd be like, hell yeah. But I don't know. When I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to watch it, but
yeah,
I think it's going to be a failure. But it's either going to be like it's going to be bizarre, but it's either going to be like bizarre and wild, or bizarre and this and nothing else going to happen.
Had William Dafoe fantasy probably.
I didn't know about the Ruffalo character when he's yelling Bella from like the or Stella from like that's like.
Willem Dafoe looked all like
he looked awesome.
Crazy,
he looked great.
Patched together face was cool, but you can't just have Willem Dafoe and think the movie's going to suck. We'll see what happens.
Right.
And then there was that creepy. I don't know if she was Indian, like Asian Indian, but she had very dark skin. She had thick dark hair, so from that area, and she was like super creepy. Had a jar. It was modern day. It was a classroom. It was probably like kids that were like 13 or so. Is it a different movie? Yeah. Oh, okay. Different movie. It was a trailer.
Oh yeah, the first one. The first trailer, yeah. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it looked sort of like Boogeyman.
Yeah, that's right. I thought it looked cool. Like there's something in a jar, and the girl who has the
I'm
jar
just happy
like
there are some like horror stuff.
Backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it did look like a lot of other. I started seeing like things that were very similar to other.
With the eyes and the eyes in the closet.
You show a light and it's not there, and you put it down, it's there. But we'll see. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah. I'm happy that there's stuff coming out.
I like Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's a very flawed movie. There's some acting in it that's, but Gary Oldman is amazing.
Gary Oldman's great.
Beautiful, great soundtrack. So
there, and I'll be honest, there's some cool, like old school camera tricks, like fades and stuff, which is like in like the I forget what you call it when you have like
shadow puppets.
That's really cool, and also just the stuff on the vignettes. I think on the side. It's like some old cool like old like original movie camera tricks, which I think is kind of fun.
It's really beautiful. I think just some of the acting is.
Keanu
Reeves. Winona Ryder.
Yeah, both of them are really bad.
Anthony Hopkins, I watched him again. He's way over the top.
He's very over the top.
When I was a kid, I was like, oh, he's great. But now,
I don't know if there's ever
very over the top.
I don't know if there's ever been a bigger contrast in acting between Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves in it. It's like this like top notch, and then like what the fuck is this?
I don't know why they cast it like that. Maybe because they were hot.
Probably.
Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves are just very popular at the time. It's a shame, but overall, I do love it. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So Neal's gotta hit the road.
Yeah, hit the road.
He's gotta hit the dusty trail. So
we'll be back Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Without Your Head. Follow Without Your Head for all the stuff. You can go to the website and get like it all. Facebook group. Not everybody's Facebook anymore, but you're probably old like us. So
follow us everywhere. We're everywhere, but we're primarily on the Facebook page and YouTube and Spotify are the three main things that I would like you to. YouTube's cool because everyone can see the comments, so that would be fun. Yeah.
So all right, guys, nice to be here.
And thanks, Joe Diablo Joe. He does reviews, and Todd Yeager. So check those out. There'll be some more when I get home.
Excellent.
Start trying to edit some.
All right, guys. Good to be here, and we'll see you